Hello students, Michael Sanchez here with Kyle. So far we've done lessons 1, 2, and 3 of Violin Tutor Pro, giving you guys some tips on technique and different things. Remember, you can get all of the lessons and sheet music on my website, violintutorpro.com. So Kyle, you've been practicing this week?
Yeah, working through lesson 4, working on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star a lot.
Alright, very good, good song. So basically the new thing that we're learning here in lesson 4 is the A string notes. So everything that we learn on the D string, as far as the finger placements, 1, 2, and 3, which you can see on Kyle's violin here, are going to be the exact same on the A string. So where we put our fingers here, that's exactly where we're going to put the fingers on the A. The only difference is that our elbow is going to be a little bit lower on the A string. So elbow is here on the D, now we're going to be lower. Now it's really important that you don't use big muscles to bow. I find a lot of students that go from the D to the A string, they get a little bit of a squeaky sound. So just make sure that when you're coming down and you're playing on the string, you're just really relaxed for the bow grip and stuff. Alright, why don't we start with number 11, Kyle.
Okay.
And this is out of the Violin Tutor Pro Series 1 book. Very good, good. So a couple things, just make sure that we're extending the arm. We're going a little bit backwards like this instead of going out. And then when we come out, when we start going this way, we start bending the wrist more.
Okay.
Like that. And one thing that you guys can probably start thinking a little bit about is using this front finger. So basically when we're bowing, this finger should be the guide, the finger guide, which makes the bow go back and forth, because something has to transition the bow from this spot back and forth. So this finger just lightly kind of pushes, tugs, grabs the bow, tells it what to do. So basically when we're here and we're going this way, we're kind of tugging a little bit, bring it down, and then when we get to the tip, we kind of push it a little bit. Go ahead and just watch me, Kyle, go back and forth, and watch what my index finger's doing. See that? So what you were doing is you were using more of like the big muscles to transition. We want to use this more. So basically what we're doing, if I don't have my finger on the bow and it's just kind of off the side, you can kind of see what I'm doing. It's going like this.
Should I be able to see it like that, or was that a little exaggerated so that I could see what you were doing?
I was slightly exaggerating it, but
okay.
It's pretty close what I was doing. Most students when they play, they don't move their index at all, so they're just moving the whole, everything is kind of doing this instead of doing this, like that. So one thing that we could practice to get used to this is what we call the index drill. So what I want you to do, Kyle, put your violin and bow on the strings, and I want you to take the front finger and press down the bow 3 times. I want the stick to come down to the hair. I don't want the bow to rock. The bow hair to rock. I just want the stick to come down to the hair, just like this. Go and try that. Great, perfect. I've showed you this before.
Yeah.
What we don't want is we don't want all the fingers to press down. We just want the front finger. And then these fingers actually want to be really relaxed. So what we can do is we can press down 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then lift the back fingers up 3 times. Just to kind of separate what we're doing there between those two. You could do that in the middle of the bow. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the hardest place to do is actually at the tip. 1, 2, 3, lift, lift, lift. The reason why it's really difficult to do at the tip is because most students, when they start to go down bow and they're at the tip, it's very easy to want to bring the bow back with the big muscles. Because anytime something kind of gets away from you, you want to bring it back with everything you got, right? But actually in violin it's out here and you just lightly with the front finger bring it back. Does that make sense? So that's why it's going to be the hardest to do here. So your arm should be really relaxed when you're here doing it. 1, 2, 3, and then lift 1, 2, 3. So nothing in my arm is tense. Go ahead and try that, Kyle, at the tip.
Yeah. I don't know if I've done this one.
2, 3, and then lift the back fingers up. Good. Yeah, and we had a little bit of bow rocking, so you're probably going to get that. A lot of students out there are probably getting that a little bit. You don't want this, you want just the stick. So maybe practice that this week a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to random shuffle, number 12.
Okay.
So now we're going to be kind of jumping around a little bit with the A string notes. So basically, open A, no fingers down, that's when we have A0, and you see where that's at on the lines.
Mm-hmm.
When it's on that middle line, it's a B, A1. So that's first finger on the sticker. And then second finger C. Third finger is D, and it's right next to each other. So A, B, C, D. All right, let's try random shuffle.
How's my finger placement to start?
Looks excellent.
Okay.
Knuckles are up very nice. So we're not, we don't have flat fingers like this. We have them up like this, which is correct. We want our hand to be as high as we can. So try to place your hand about right there on the fingerboard.
Mm-hmm.
See how high that is? Kind of look down, just make sure it's right there. And then if you just place your fingers down, naturally your finger's going to be high up. Knuckles are going to be up. That looks excellent. All right, let's try number 12. Good. You notice a little bit of a bow bounce in there?
Yeah.
So anytime you get a bow bounce, it always has to do with the bow grip. Always. So a lot of people are like, oh, this violin isn't doing the right thing or whatever. It has nothing to do with the violin. It's always that there's too much tension up against the bow instead of you basically taking this front finger and pressing down, keeping it relaxed. So basically at any time, you could just take the bow right out of my hands. That's how relaxed I am. So it's really flexible. But if it's not flexible, and we're not using this front finger, we're using big muscles, and the bow is tense, so it's going to sound like this. See that?
Yeah, I had that. It's after the second rest, wasn't it?
A little bit. And a little bit of it, too, actually was the pinky, too. Was kind of pushing up against the bow. So basically, when I teach lessons, what I do is I take my student's hand on the bow and I circle it around like this. If I can do that really easily, then they're gripping the bow correctly. Let me go ahead and try that. Go ahead and, like you're going to play. So this is kind of what I would do, just like this. That's excellent. Yep. So think of it that the bow is holding on the instrument for us. We're just guiding it along. There's no need to grab the bow. It shouldn't even be called a bow grip. It should be just called a bow hold. So, all right, very good. Let's try next song, number 13. Excellent. Good intonation. Intonation means good finger placements. That's good. One thing that we could have done a little better, Kyle, is get to the tip more. So we want kind of more like this.
Yeah, I really struggle switching from the A to the D.
Yep. So a lot of that is just arm pivoting and getting used to that. Small muscles. Anytime there's any tension, it's hard to play up here. So that's why it's unnatural. Most students just kind of want to go this far when they bow because it's more comfortable. But if you're not getting up to here, then you should definitely be practicing that. All right, and then finally we have a performance song, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That's always the duet I do with people once they get the song learned. So, very good. Kyle has extremely good technique for just starting out. So, but it takes time to build that. We've been doing these videos a lot, so it kind of emphasizes, doing the technique. but I'm telling you, it makes you sound so much better when you focus on those things. So the bow grip, extending the arm out, bending the wrist, you know, focusing on the left hand, knuckles up, stuff like that. Just keep reminding yourself. It's hard to think of everything at one time, right? When you're first starting, because it's not natural yet, but it will come. So thank you so much for watching today's lesson 4. Hope you guys learned something. Remember that you can get all of these lessons and all my sheet music available online on my website as a member at violintutorpro.com. Hope you guys had a good day, and we'll see you in the next lesson.